Let's settle for the details now. Now, in less than 24 hours, the parliamentary primaries of the new Patriotic Party. Attention will be focused on 100 constituencies as the party goes to the polls to elect parliamentary candidates for the 2020 elections. The anticipated keen contest in some 20 hotspots across the 16 regions of Ghana will be keen for both incumbents and those seeking to unseat them to take their quest to the delegates of the party. On the AM show today, Evans Nimaku, who is Director of Elections for the NPP, told Roland Walker all is set for a free and fair primaries for the governing party.
The party's arrangement is that because of the strict observance of COVID-19 protocols, instead of congregating at the constituency center, delegates will now congregate at the electoral area as defined by the Electoral Commission, so as to reduce the number and will not let it go beyond 100. And so we are observing all the protocols. Delegates will be given face masks. We are providing for each delegate. We're also making sure that alcohol-based sanitizers are provided. We are putting an arrangement to ensure that there's Veronica bucket with soaps attached for people to clean themselves up very well as they come to the voting center. We've had discussion with the Electoral Commission. Ballot papers have been dispatched to the regional EC offices for onward dispatchment to electoral areas, which are going to serve as the voting center. In terms of security, the party general secretary wrote to the police service, all issues relating to security will be managed by the Ghana Police Service, and we hope that they'll continue to do the good honor for us and help us organize a very successful conference in these areas. We have a total of 2,407 voting centers across the 101 constituencies. So far, discussions made, we expect that aspirants will comply with the party's constitution dictates, go along very well with the rules of engagement as stated in the rules governing the conduct of the primaries, and also bear in mind that the party is the supreme. And so they and their supporters have been advised. For our delegates, the polling station executives, electoral area coordinators, constituency executives, our council of elders and patrons who have the capacity to vote as delegates, they are not too much of a problem in situations like this, but sometimes the supporters who might go beyond our arrangement. So we are urging all party members that what we've done so far, they should crown it very well with this peaceful conduct, attitude, behavior on Saturday. Okay. This is the first time such serious political activity as elections is taking place in this era, COVID in Ghana. We are therefore expecting that we all observe strictly the protocols and also make sure that the ultimate is the victory for the new Patriotic Party. Yes, where people feel aggrieved, National Party has sent out national officers who will be responsible for each of the regions. So where there are grievances, these are individuals who step in.
Let's bring you some analysis on this. Remember, this is your election headquarters. This is where you need to stay for everything election, including the analysis as well. We have our men on the ground. Erastus Asaridonko joins us via Zoom. Okay, he's on live TVU from Kumasi. Erastus, thank you very much for joining us. We also have Richard Kojunyako join us via Zoom from the Central Region. And the man Rafiq Salam is also on Zoom with us. But I want to start with you, Erastus, because we are in Bantama right now. That is a hot seat and a place that will be keenly contested. It appears there are three things that will determine the race there. First, who has the resources, who has the backing of government, and then who is the man of the people. What is your reading of what's happening there?
Well, you will not be wrong to quote those as the determinant factors for the election at Bantama come Saturday, that's tomorrow. But then interestingly, yesterday there was another development. We had a section of the delegates converging at the old party office at Bantama and holding a press conference to declare and pledge their support for Asenso Boakye, who is the Deputy Chief of Staff. In fact, the reasons they are quoting for supporting him, I asked the same question, that you are supporting him because he's the darling boy of the president, because some largesse is being pushed from up seat down to you here. And they said no. They are claiming that though he doesn't have a budget, as compared to the MP for the area, he's been doing a lot for the constituency. They mentioned a particular area, Amanfrom, where they've never had a classroom block, and he's been able to construct a classroom block for them, and other things that he's been doing on the ground for the people of the area, and that is what is pushing them to support him. There are others who follow Honorable Ochema Boakye, and they think that, well, there's a history when it comes to the powers that be pushing candidates down their throat. And so they, this time around, want to show that they also have a choice and that nobody can be pushed down their throats, so to speak. And so these are some other factors that would determine tomorrow's ballot.
These delegates that you talk about, how many of them, and do you think that they would make any change as far as the election tomorrow is concerned?
Well, yesterday I counted about 40 of them, but then they are saying that there are many, and this is just a small representation of those who wanted to come for the press conference. And so they claim that majority of them this time around want Asenso Boakye to stay so that he could do more for the constituency. But there are others who also doubt that. In fact, followers of Ochema Boakye are claiming that the MP has been buying votes, allegations that they deny that he's been giving them money. But on the ground, we hear allegations of vote buying on both sides. Ochema Boakye's camp and Asenso Boakye's camp, there are allegations that both of them are trying to pay their way through. And of course, it runs through all the contests that we've seen in the Ashanti region, of people sharing money here and there, people giving TV sets, giving this, giving that. But nobody has evidence to that effect. But they are all allegations, though.
And the issue of votes buying is a regular feature in our elections, both at the party level and also at the national level. Erastus, I'll come to you so we look at Adansi Asokwa, because that's another hotspot that we need to look at quickly because of Katie Hammond. Let me go on to Zoom and speak to Richard Kojonyako. Richard, the Ewutu Senya seat has always been controversial, even at the national level. This time, we have George Anda, who is one of the few deputies who is being contested by Joseph Edu. Tell us what is happening there.
Well, as it stands, the incumbency advantage is being used by George Anda. The card he is using is that, well, he's the first timer who is being in government, and then he's been given the deputy ministerial position, and he wants them to give him another opportunity to do more. So that is clearly what George Anda, the Deputy Communication Minister, is seeking to use in this particular primary. But the Joseph Edu guy is also making serious inroads in the constituency. But people feel largely that Jajanda has done lots in the constituency and should be given another opportunity. When you interact with delegates, that seems to be the emerging factor that will determine who will win tomorrow's primaries.
How is the campaign going? Do you see a lot of resources being pushed down in a certain direction?
Yes, yes, that is true. And it is not only the Ewutu constituency, but it runs through all the constituencies as well. Let me run by you some of the constituencies in the central region. They have 12 now that will be going into the contest tomorrow. 7 are going unopposed. You have the likes of Kennedy Japan, you have Intim Fodjo, and you have the Ewutu Senya, the Mavis Howard Kumsin also going unopposed as well. But there are 12 that will be currently battling tomorrow. So we have the Cape Coast North, you know, Barbara Ashaisi is there, and she is pitching her might against three other people, Lawrence Ampa, and then two other people who have also been in the race in recent times. So you have
would you
London,
say that Barbara Asha AEC is as popular as she was 4 years ago when she came onto the scene? Would you say so?
Yes, because she's still popular among the people that are contesting, even though there is one particular person, Laurie Zampa, who is proving his mettle in this race. But if you interact with delegates, they feel that Barbara is also a first-timer, and she's been the deputy minister in two ministries, and if she's given the opportunity, she's going to do more in the constituency. So that is currently the card that is being played, but they feel that Barbara should have a slight edge over Lawrence Zampa, who is the closest contender in this.
Hold it there for me, Richard. Let's go to the Upper West region. The man, Rafiq Salam, joins us via Zoom. Rafiq, there are some hotspots also in your area. I am quite surprised that Anthony Abeyi-Fakabo is being contested, considering how he is popular in the town. We know his father is the overlord of the area. Is he still as popular? And do you see his contender, Joseph Donta, giving him a run for his money?
Yes, a lot of people are surprised that Anthony Abeyi-Fakabo is not going unopposed because considering the kind of development that he has taken to the people of the Laura constituency in terms of roads, in terms of health facilities, in terms of the infrastructure, talking about the Declare Bridge, which is something that is on the board for them. So many are really surprised about the contest. But you see, here in the Upper West region, there's a big rift, a big division in the NPP party. And so the man, Belson Donta, standing up against Anthony Abeyi-Fakabo, people think that he's been used as a proxy to fight political scores against Anthony Abeyi-Fakabo. And so this is the situation in the Laura constituency. And so, but from the look of things, people are seeing that Belson Donta is no match for Anthony Abeyi-Fakabo. Considering the results 4 or 5 years ago, this is the second time they are going to contest against each other. In 2015, Belson Donta contested against Anthony Abeyi-Fakabo. Out of the 600 votes, he got 63. He got 63. So Anthony Abeyi-Fakabo still looks like the more popular candidate because he is the incumbent. He has done a lot for the constituency, and they're yet to see anything from Belson Donta.
I'll come back to you, Rafiq. So we look at the other hotspots. I know that Ambrose Derry, for instance, is going unopposed. He will be declared, but there are other areas where you have some keen contests. I'll come to you, so we'll look at that. But let's go back to Kumasi. Erastus, I was talking about Adansi Asukwa because Katie Hammond had his lawyers write to the party to say that his contender is not qualified to be in that race with him. Not that he didn't want to, he wanted to run unopposed, but he says that through the ranks from the constituency all the way to the national level, his contender has been deemed unfit to be in that race. What happened with that letter that he wrote to the party requesting that he is withdrawn from the race?
Well, we've not had any information about the party taking a decision on the president of the National Union of Ghana Students, Samuel Benford Dakwa. We've not had any information to that effect. So far, they've disqualified about 10 of the contestants in the Ashanti region. We are having 15 going on opposed. He's not one of them. And so we've not had any information. If they had disqualified him or taken a decision on him, perhaps we have known by now. But I must say that Adansi Asukwa has been an interesting area to watch for a very long time. Remember, Katie Hammond in 2016 also wanted to go unopposed, and there were issues of agitations of people trying to kick him out because they feel he has not helped the constituency. This time around, he had wanted to go unopposed, but it did not work out. So until the party comes up with something, we still think that there's a contest over there.
Yes, to look out for tomorrow as we come with this comprehensive coverage here on your election headquarters. You can hear me. I just wanted to find out from you which other areas we should be looking out for, because Kumasi in itself, the Ashanti region, is quite a hotspot as far as this primaries is concerned, because if you want, these are safe seats for the NPP. And so once you win this, you know that you have a foot in parliament already. The rest is not so much of hard work. Which other areas should we be looking out for as we bring viewers and listeners a comprehensive coverage tomorrow on the election headquarters?
Right, and just as you said, it's true. And what has created so much interest in this parliamentary primaries and people gunning for it is because the moment you win, it's an automatic win for you in the main election. One area we can be sure of that you know, a lot of drama has gone on in there for some time now, in 2016 and even now, is the Menchia North constituency, where the incumbent Collins Owusu-Amankwa is being contested by Kwesi Kunadu. Kwesi Kunadu is a chartered accountant, and he hopes to give the MP a run for his money. But yesterday, we spoke with the MP, and he thinks that previously the issues that people were using against him and threatening his seat were roads. And in fact, when you looked at the Bokrom F-line road, for example, it's an area that attracted so much attention. People wanted him out because they felt he has not helped them when it comes to roads. But when you go to those areas, and especially from Airport Roundabout to Bokrom, the road has been asphalted. It's beautiful over there, and so it looks like the people have forgotten all about their woes. And so the MP thinks that it's not about just winning the seat. He wants to ship Kwesi Kunadu very well, to the extent of getting more than 70% of the votes in there. So that's one area that we also want to take a look at critically.
Sometimes we've seen quite a lot of drama in the Jobbing area, with some youth going on to invoke curses on the party leadership for disqualifying someone they see as a preferred candidate. We saw the action that the party took against them. How is the campaign looking like in that area?
Well, there is still tension within the party in that area. Remember, the party has taken a decision to suspend all 7 people who invoked the curses, and it has not gone down well with the people over there, the party folks, followers of that particular candidate. And so it's yet to be seen whether that will play any major role at all when it comes to tomorrow's ballot. You remember there were other invocation of curses in areas like Offenso North and all that. And so the party is currently deciding on suspending other people in those areas. There are 7 people who are waiting the decision of the disciplinary committee at Offenso, Asokwa as well. But Asokwa, we declared the MP to run unopposed, so it will not really affect anything over there. So yes, it's still yet to be seen what will happen over there, but campaign is still ongoing in those areas.
Erastus, I'll come to you to tell us what to expect tomorrow as you, Saeed, and the others lead the coverage in the Ashanti region. What viewers and listeners can expect from the team we have on the ground. But let me go to Richard Kojonyako. Richard, I see that Infansimana is also another place we should be looking at. We have Echo Hayford and James Costa Brown also in that contest. And then when you go to the Dentra area, that's Upper Dentra East, we have Festus Ewa Kofi, Nana Amwako, Charles Afari, and there's one Dodo Richmond as well. Tell us about the competition in those areas.
So you see, there are interesting pairings, and that of Infantiman, you know, Kokwansa Hayford is the incumbent member of parliament, and then someone is trying to challenge him. The person is seen as a community development expert. He's been in the constituency doing some NGO activities there, and people feel that he's likely to cause some upsets in the constituency. Remember, he started doing those works pre-2016, and then people see that he was doing that to warm himself up into the competition during this time where we have the seat. So he is likely, people feel that he's likely to snatch the seat from the incumbent. But what we have from the camp of the incumbent is that he's also done a lot. People feel that he's also a first timer. You know, remember that the Bantama constituency is not a constituency that belongs to any of the political parties. It's been held by the NDC, it's been held by the NPP. And so going into this contest, people feel it is too close to call. The incumbent is likely to have a slight edge over the Kosa, who is challenging him. Let's go to the Aguna West constituency, where we have the Gender Minister also contesting, Cynthia Mamble Morrison also contesting. We have a former MP in the area who is also challenging this current Member of Parliament. And people feel that, well, Cynthia has had some issues in the constituency, but the odds favor Cynthia as well. Let's go to the Upper Dintra East constituency, where Festus and then incumbent Nana Amakon are also contesting. It's going to be a very hotly contested seat come tomorrow, because Nana Amakon has held the seat for a very long time, and people feel that he's been there and they do not really see what exactly he's been doing, even though they feel that he's done his bit, and so they would want someone else to also take the mantle away from him. You go to Isikumo Dobimbrakwa, and the same thing, 5 people are up for that slot over there, and it's going to be pretty interesting come tomorrow.
Richard Kojunako, you mentioned a very important point, which is the fact that some of the seats, a lot of the seats are not safe seats for the NPP. In fact, the central region has always been a swing region, and so it is very important that whoever is selected or elected to represent the parties, both the governing party and opposition, has quite some good support, because what happens usually is that once there's some disenchantment at the base, it then tends to affect the party in terms of maintaining the seat. Generally in the central region, do you see that happening?
There are some of the seats that are likely to go back to the NDC even after this contest, and there are some that are going to be still held by the NPP, because whoever wins is not a safe seat. A lot of the seats along the coastal belt, because of the fishing activities, and whoever wins those areas, they expect that the fishermen will be better off in their activities, in their businesses and the other things. So if they feel that, oh, this person came and did not help the cause of the fishermen and other development areas in that place, then you will go. So a lot of the seats have not been held solely by the NPP or solely by the NDC. It depends on a lot of factors. They look at what you have brought on board and what you stand to bring on board. And so if you win the central region, it's not a safe seat like we have in the Ashanti region, where, I mean, after winning the primary, then you have 1 foot in parliament. But this one, you have to really work, especially if you go to the Himalaya Dintra area. There is a problem where Bright Rekubobe, the Deputy Employment and Labor Relations Minister, is contesting a former constituency executive. I mean, there is a sharp division among the people of Dintra and among the people of Himan, and that is likely to affect. So if these cracks are not managed very well, even after the primaries, then there is going to be a problem, because the NDC has furthered a candidate in the person of the former member of parliament for the same constituency, and so he is seeking a comeback from these places. So when you win, it's the likelihood of you winning the main elections is also high, because it depends on what you bring on board. The Etimukwa constituency is another key constituency to watch, because there's likely to be an upset. Abraham Jumaudum has held the seat for 4 years. Apart from Abraham Jumaudum, no member of parliament from the NPP has won that seat before. And so there is a lecturer who is from the University of Education, Winneba, who is Professor Usu, who is trying to, this is not the first time he's been in the contest. He contested him and lost in the 2016 primaries. But this time, people are saying
there's a place to look out for, Richard. We're running out of time on this one, but I know that you're leading the team to bring us comprehensive coverage here on the election headquarters, and we trust that, as always, you bring us up to speed with whatever is happening in the region. Let me wrap up with Rafiq Salam as well, who is on Zoom. Rafiq, tell us about what to expect briefly in 30 seconds from the Upper West region as we bring that coverage to viewers and listeners tomorrow.
The Upper West region, there are places that to look up to is the Sisala East constituency, where Ridwan Abbas Dauda, he is the incumbent MP, will place his strength against the Deputy Upper West Region Minister Amidu Chine Saku. And also, there's also another two horses race in the Sisala West constituency.
Unfortunately, we seem to have lost Rafiq Salam there via Zoom. Apologies for that, but definitely the man Rafiq Salam, as you always know, is everywhere in the Upper West region. Let's go to Erastus and wrap up with him. Erastus, tell us about tomorrow. All eyes will be there in that region. What should we expect from the team?
So today we are putting our gadgets together. We have TVU with us, so definitely viewers will have live feeds from wherever drama or action is happening on the ground. We divided ourselves into about 6 teams, so we are covering every part, including all the hotspots and all the areas that you want to hear something from. So we'll start very early in the morning, and various teams on the ground will be feeding you with up-to-the-minute information.
Thank you very much for bringing us up to speed with what's happening in the Ashanti region. And of course, this is your election headquarters.